us and have a great conversation. What's up, everybody? Thank you all for coming. We're really happy to be here. I'm excited to get into some fun, interesting topics with these beautiful ladies. Legal psychedelics that we can all use at home, in public. Well, maybe not in public. So, microdosing coffee in public probably isn't that bad, but maybe not combo in public. First, let's introduce ourselves and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do. We can start with whomever.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Heather Mack, and I serve Combo mostly. I've been working with Combo for a couple years now. I also work with a couple other medicines and put on conscious events here in LA, so excited to share more with y'all. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Yuri, and I am a Moon Priestess. And I'm also actually a clinical hypnotherapist by trade, and I've been leading regression therapy, inner child healing work, past life regression for last almost 2 decades. I was introduced to ayahuasca about 19 years ago, and the interesting journey led me to work with this mushroom. So that's about me.
I'm Nira. I'm here from Dallas. I work with the ayahuasca vine B. Cappy. My microdose is B. Cappy vine only. There's no DMT, so we are legal. There were a lot of questions on whether it was really legal or not, but I can say that we are, because in 2022, I was nicely greeted at my front door with 15 cops who had been watching me, thinking that I was dealing DMT, but I'm here and nothing ever happened except for an expensive legal bill.
I know all too well how that goes. And I'm Christian Rasmussen. I own MNA Botanicals. We're the largest retailers, importers, distributors of Amanita muscaria here in the States. How about some backstory? Let's hear how you guys got into what you guys are doing currently. Whomever wants to start again. Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, me? Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay. I'm always excited. Oh, thanks to Amanita. How about that? So I was introduced, like I said, ayahuasca about 20 years ago, but I did not know what to do with it. It was, also illegal, and also the shamans from South Americans are pretty wanting to keep that for their lineage. So I was just kind of working through, but I was engaged with many different, all these illegal substances, because my ex-husband was big on these healing modalities, and also he had pretty bad temperament issues that actually broke our marriage. And to find my path as a practitioner, as I was living in Sedona, and as I understand how powerful these plant medicines are, but this piece that illegal substance was always bothering me as a mother of 2 children, to actually put myself out there. And then when I was guided back to live back in Los Angeles, and it's just been about 1.5 years ago, the mushroom actually came, this mushroom called Amanita came to me, dropped on my lap, and asked me to work with them. So ever since then, I've been having a relationship with them, and they've been amazing, and I got to create this entire line dedicated to Amanita muscaria. Yes.
Thank you, Yuri. That's beautiful. So my journey, I don't even know where to begin with this, but in 2019, I kind of hit a point where I hit rock bottom of like, enough is enough. I was deep in a corporate job that I was very unhappy with. I was numbing with pharmaceuticals. I was on Zoloft, Adderall, SSRIs, drinking. I had an eating disorder. I had a lot of things I was doing that I was numbing and coping with, and I found myself at a place really like not wanting to go on anymore, trying to look for some sort of solution outside of me, and I found myself basically looking for the solution started with mushrooms, and mushrooms really started to heal me as I started to work with them, and then I found myself very quickly working with Combo very often. Combo helped me get off a lot of my pharmaceuticals that I was on. It helped me with finding myself to ayahuasca. Grandmother ayahuasca helped me a lot. And I left my corporate job in 2022. I worked at TJX as a corporate buyer. And I left with no game plan, and then I found myself on this journey of healing, and as I was healing myself, I found myself wanting to help others, and I went to the jungle and studied with the Matsis tribe and learned Combo there, and then I've been serving, it'll be 2 years in December, so and I love getting to share all the medicines that helped me heal. Aside from Combo, I also facilitate mushroom ceremonies, 5-MeO, Wilca, DMT, and what other things, a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, so I'm just very grateful that I get to share the things that helped me with others and support others in the same way. So that's pretty much my story in a nutshell. Thank you.
In my real journey began in 2016, but what happened way before I found myself in an ayahuasca ceremony was just things going great in certain aspects of my life. Like my job was fine, but my personal life was really crappy. Like it was just shitty. And one day someone told me, you know, Nira, you're the only common denominator in all your issues. And I was like, God, it's kind of rude, but okay. And there was a situation that happened one summer, and I was just like, kind of like what you said, enough is enough. Like, why does this certain things just keep appearing in my life? And I had one summer, I was finally going to be away from my kids for more than 3 weeks, and I just started Googling, like, help me, self-help, where can I go, where can I go? And this retreat just kept on popping up, and I didn't come from a background heavy in psychedelics. Yes, I did dabble with MDMA, but that was really the extent of it. I didn't smoke or anything like that. Well, I went on this journey to Costa Rica. I had to get off of, at the time, I was on Prozac, Vyvanse, Wellbutrin, just everything. And they had been prescribing me antidepressants since I was probably 15 years old. But nothing really ever worked. So I get on, get off, get on, get off. Well, I had to get off for this journey. Went to Costa Rica, I did a 7-day retreat, came back, I called it open heart brain surgery. Just my mind was totally upside down. I'm back in Dallas, and I just keep getting this feeling like my daughter's gonna pass away. I didn't know what it was. My psychotherapist was, in hindsight, told me I could have leaned into that feeling a little bit more. But what happened was about 3 or 4 months after I came back, my sister, she ended up taking her life. And it is still the most devastating thing that I've ever been through, because I thought that should have been me. I have wanted to leave this world from a very young age, and how could she have stepped into that and not me? I just felt like it wasn't fair. And then what was I gonna do? Go back and get on all of these medications that I had to get off of just to go to this retreat? So someone introduced me to somebody, you know, Mama Aya, she will just open your path in all the different directions. And I came across this microdose. It sat in my fridge for 2 months. I couldn't touch it. I didn't rehydrate it. It came from Peru. And it was like that Edgar Allan Poe, I don't know if any of you know that raven knocking at your door. I literally felt like the fridge was like knocking at me. I'm here for you. And I finally mixed it, and I took a shower. You know, I got up. I was able to slowly start working again. And I thought, holy shit, this is really working for me. And those pills never worked for me the way this worked. And so I have a small biochemistry background, started researching it, and felt like the microdose really should be an option for more people. I guess in a way we all kind of have treatment-resistant depression or PTSD, and this just changed my life, and that's kind of how I started Ayabliss.
I'm sorry about your sister.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell us more about copy, about pharmacology, how you think it's helping people, what kind of benefits you've seen from people.
A lot of people misunderstand the Quechua word ayahuasca to mean the vine and the chacruna leaf as the tea, the psychedelic tea that we all know today. But ayahuasca, there are tribes back in the Amazon jungle that do ceremonies just with BCAPI. So the really powerful ingredients that are in there are the alkaloids, the beta carbolines, which have MAO properties in the brain. So if you're on SSRIs or these other antidepressants, that's why they make you get off of those medications before you go on a full journey. So it's the beta carbolines really that are my passion to learn and share the education about that. It's a natural source from Mother Earth to help with your depression, anxiety, and the MAOI properties are really what helps that I find with the depression.
How about Amanita? I know a little bit, but
from the master. So I'm not a scientist or chemist, but I'm actually a medicine woman, and I do sessions. So I do past life regression by accident because I was working with people on inner child healing, but people started to go to their past lives just automatically. So when I do my sessions, people go back to past lives, and what I noticed I probably facilitated several hundreds of sessions, and there is a pattern. There's an amazing pattern. Every time I bring people to this regression therapy that shows up, even though you're in different states of the centuries or places and different sex or being, it's the same pattern that shows up. And it's stuck in your emotional field, so I work on removing that out. However, this is not something that was accumulated over just several hundred years. It's actually thousands of years of our ancestry that we are actually awakening to start healing. And then what happens is, it's very tiring for me to do these sessions because it takes 2-3 hours, and a lot of people don't have money to spend on how many past life regression therapy you're gonna do per month, like maybe one, right? So I was just looking at what could help them to break these patterns. So you see like nightmares. People had nightmares, I had nightmares. So nightmare is actually fear-based dreams, right? There's a fear spirit attached to that dream. So you're re-experiencing it, you're blocking the emotional path to move it through from your past. And what I noticed about Amanita, once I got to understand, is that it's like doing a past life regression microdosing, because they're working in your dream state. They bring this part of your past that holds certain patterns and fear, and they love to move those out of your psyche. And then what happens is people don't have those nightmares anymore. So that's my experience as a practitioner. And I'm like, and then because I also experienced that myself, I have some Libra in me, so I can't make decisions time to time. So I would be like calling my psychic practitioner to see what should I do. But ever since I've been taking Amanita, it's like You sleep on it, and next day I get very clear at what to do without the fear, because the reason why you can't make a decision is because there's a fear always attached to it. And these little mushroom spirits, they know what they are, so they love to take those things out of your psyche. So that's something that's been great, and it happens to be legal, and it's so actually gentle. The way they work with you is, and then that's actually a challenge, because some people will be like, oh, I'm not feeling anything from Amanita, like psilocybin. But it's like, if you can just give this mushroom a chance, they will do amazing things for you. But you are so conditioned by pharmaceutical-driven society, so you want to take something, you want to feel, and you want to heal overnight. And that's not how the nature works. So you have to give a proper time and guidances. And it's not about getting high, it's about if you really truly want to heal, then all of these plants will help you assist that, but you just have to be a little patient.
I will say that I've done past life regression on Amanita with Yuri, and it's phenomenal. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It puts you in this like waking dream state, delta theta state, which allows you to go very, very deep. Yeah, highly recommend. Hit Yuri up. Combo is probably my second, man. DMT combo, Amanita. Amanita is for sure at the top. Sorry, I gotta do it. Tell us more about combo.
Absolutely. Combo is amazing for, similar to what Yuri was just saying, at removing fear. So the beautiful thing about combo that I learned in the jungle is the frog itself lives high up in the trees, and it has no known predators. So the reason why is because of this secretion on its back. So if a snake or a bird were to come and scoop it up, it'll spit it out because this secretion is poisonous to these animals. And it's beautiful because they live in this environment and they actually don't have fear. So when I got to meet the frog, I put my hand out and they just like come crawling right on you. They are really like beautiful, fearless creatures. And the consciousness of the medicine, that's why it's here for us now, is to remove fear. So it's actually removing lower vibrational states from our body. And the way it does that, it has over 13 bioactive peptides. So it works synergistically with our body to remove the fear frequency from us. So it's really beautiful how it works. And a lot of people have a lot of trepidation about the idea of it being such a purgative medicine. So you do have a purging experience. So you're gonna purge in one of 4 ways where you can vomit. You'll maybe go to the bathroom, you'll sweat or cry, but it's only 40 minutes and you move through so much energy in such a short period of time that physically you feel almost reborn again afterwards because of how much energy it can move in such a short period of time. And it's really incredible how it works in removing fear and also giving you visibility to the patterns. So that's a lot of what I work with, as well as just serving the medicine. We work a lot with the pattern work. I work with an organization called Ren Shui, and part of the teaching with this organization is there's 10 fundamental patterns of the consciousness that we all have, and they're basically rooted in trauma. They're viruses of the mind, and they happen at a very young age, and they're things such as hiding and avoiding, stubbornness, overgeneralization, and these are just standard patterns that we have. And what the combo does is the combo lifts the fog from our mind and gives us full visibility to our patterns. So part of the teaching that I like to offer with the combo is how to make change from what you're being shown, so you can actually have a life-changing experience when you sit with combo. It's pretty incredible medicine. I could probably talk about it all day long, but it changed my life a lot, and it's really good for addiction too. So if people have addiction like I did, it will help with showing you your addictions and then how you can make change from how these things are basically shaping your whole consciousness and how you operate. So it's really good for that and giving visibility. So yeah.
I will say one thing on that. Aya Bliss is a really nice partner to help after you go through like a combo ceremony, to help give you that daily, I would say, support. in order to help give you that strength to process whatever might have come out during one of those ceremonies.
That's amazing. Thank you.
We're all business owners up here. I know firsthand these products are legal. There's still a lot of complications and issues that come up, which you alluded to earlier. What are some of the issues or some of the barriers that you guys have found in running your business with these legal healing products that shouldn't be barriers, but unfortunately they are?
Big Pharma has their hands on everything. We're not allowed to use the words depression and anxiety. So how do I help someone who has suicidal ideations daily, driving your car? Because that's me. If I'm not microdosing or taking care of my mental health, I do have severe depression. I can go back to driving my car and wondering, why am I not driving off this bridge right now? And so how do I help somebody in those situations when I can't use those vocabulary words because they're really diagnoses, depression, anxiety, insomnia, things like that. So that's a really big hurdle as far as like marketing or getting the word out, trying to help someone who might not resonate with boosting your mood or, these other vocabulary words that we have to try to find to replace, what we're really trying to say. I would say that initially when I first started 5 years ago, I was using Stripe. They shut us down because payment portals. I learned the word high-risk merchant because we do fall under herbal supplements and that you take orally. So payment methods have been tricky. Marketing has been the trickiest, I would say. And then, I would say right now marketing for me is pretty hard because you want to reach people that you can help, and it's like your hands are tied behind your back and you're trying to swim.
I have some tips afterwards.
Well,
Barriers to bringing forth the medicine.
barriers to bring the medicine to the forefront. I think for me personally is just I don't have enough time because I'm a one-woman show and I basically do everything from just sourcing, making, the design and producing and go out and do it all by myself, type of a deal. I mean, obviously small business. So
I would say one of the reasons why we're all here too is because we can't do it alone. We need a team. In order to be successful, everyone grows and helps more people by working together. So thank you all so much for being here too and being part of this.
It's so funny. Like the first thing that comes to mind is collective unconscious programming. I find that that's the biggest barrier of entry for me is sharing with people how these medicines have changed my life and coming up against all of the programming that we're fed through our whole lives of the conditioning of, well, like for combo, for example, people think, oh my God, I don't want to purge. Oh my God. It's like immediately there's so many walls that I get to share some different perspectives on. And it's really beautiful because I've had such a beautiful learning experience in being able to share with people how purging it actually is a really beautiful process, that our body has the ability to remove things in this way, like synergistically, so that it's actually for the highest good of yourself and for all when you move energy in this way. So, something like that. But with all the medicines I find, they're like, oh, I don't do drugs. And I'm like, okay, these are actually from the earth. And this is something that is here to serve us, and Mother Earth is here. We are part of nature. We are part of these medicines, and they are part of us, and they're here to serve us as we are here to serve them. So I find a lot of the dance I get to play with very frequently is how to share with people how these medicines are here for us. So that's been a big thing, as well as what you both shared are both challenges for me. I would love some help and more support and all that. So thank you.
What can we do as your community to help you guys through all this. And I'm here to help, so if anybody needs anything, just talk to me, that's what I'm here for. But we have a lot of beautiful people that are willing and wanting to help here. What can we do? Can we turn this mic down?
That is a beautiful question. Oh my god. I don't even know where to begin. How much time do we have? No, I don't know. I think, like, for me, one of the things is like calling in support in this space. So, and one of the things I've learned so beautifully from my friend Heather here is we've created like a reciprocity program where like anybody that she refers or I refer, we support one another. Like we offer 10%, and like that's been a really beautiful process in like being able to share with one another and support and uplift one another. And I think just in terms of growth and I think, I don't know, like the first thing that comes to mind is just like sharing about these experiences. I think that's like the most important thing is like authenticity and like actually sharing from a heart-centered place is the best thing we can do to support these medicines, because they're here and they're coming front and center for a reason, for us to be able to support and uplift for the greatest good of all in what's happening on the planet and the shift that's happening, so that we can all support one another. So I think just breathing life to them and sharing authentically, those are all things that can be really supportive and supporting us and sharing them. So
I think touching back to what you were saying about fear, someone told me this recently. Sometimes we have fear because we're afraid there's only two decisions and we're about to make the wrong one. One of those might be the wrong decision. And helping us, one thing that I've seen is not being fearful to share, not being fearful to share with somebody who we might feel like might judge us or might say, oh no, you're into psychedelics, you're a hippie, like you don't belong here, we can't, this is, you know, our executive position might be at risk here. But instead of being like a bystander, being more of an upstander, because you're helping your neighbor, you're helping the mom who has postpartum depression. You know, if somebody would have came to me when I had, my son is 19 now, he's in college, but when he was a newborn, I could not handle it. I was like, shut up, you are crying. And my ex-husband was gone. Reaching out to these people, because those are the scared ones. They're scared of feeling better. They're scared that, you know, they're so attached to their anxiety or their way of life that really even the thought of reaching for one of these tools in their toolbox is scary. So I think just really opening up and like having those authentic conversations with people that might like not want to be our friend after we do share.
So for me, there are several ways that all of you guys can help by actually taking the Amanita and also come to my retreats and ceremonies and experience it so that you could actually share it. That's a great way for you to help me if you'd like to. And the other thing is I also have affiliate program that I'm actually creating right now. So that's another way that you and I can work together, sharing through social medias, or if you have a connection for podcasting, please let me know. But I want to tell you something really important. So Amanita muscaria mushroom happen to be legal, even though it's psychoactive, a very powerful mushroom that can actually put you to some other dimension. And they were actually taken away. They are legal because it is labeled as poisonous and deadly. They were actually taken away because the spirit of the mushroom holds love energy, divine loving energy. This is the reason why Amanita muscaria was utilized in shamanic practices, ceremonies, and rituals for thousands of years back, because they are able to connect you to divine, right? So what happens when divine and you get connected and you're in love frequency? Then you are not in fear. So less fear, what happens? then you are not able to be controlled easily, right? So a lot of the controller, very same energy as pharmaceutical and government, they knew that thousands years before. So they took this part about the amanita that can put you to coma state and labeled it as a poisonous. It is not poisonous. There are many of us here can tell you that we were eating them and we are completely alive. So they were taken away because it's easy to not let people to get our hands up to get closer to love energy, right? And also for us to lose our imagination, and also for us to stop dreaming. So those are the main reasoning why these were taken away, purposefully. But actually, as a byproduct, they became legal, and we actually got to experience this amazing medicine for our benefit. So this is a chance, and they are really knocking our door. This mushroom, they have a purpose right now, and they want to help a lot of us right now. And if you'd like to join this journey, please come and say hi.
I like the idea of, we're in the psychedelic space, so connecting with love, that's always really, really huge. And then shadow work and healing traumas. I'm curious, this is a little intimate, but what is your life wound? How has your medicine helped you come to terms, shine the light on, heal what's been hiding in the shadows? And then how has that helped you connect to your heart and to your love?
That's a great question. Mic drop. I love this question so much. Thank you, Christian. And it's so easy for me to answer because I know, like, my life work here has been to learn how to accept myself and love myself, because my whole life I've been my own worst critic, and it wasn't until I started to find these plant medicines between mushrooms and kombu, ayahuasca, amanita, all these medicines just bring us back to love, like you're saying, but it also brings you back to the space of self-acceptance and seeing yourself in the light of love and accepting yourself in that space and understanding how, like, why you are the way you are and how you are the way you are. So that's been, for me, like, the biggest teacher in this journey is just discovering about myself and being patient, giving myself grace. This is all my life's work for sure, because that's why I'm here. And then in turn, like, getting to support others in that, and the work I've been able to do for myself and being able to share that with other people, that's been something that I feel really called to continue to share. So thank you for that.
Our childhood wounds, we probably don't want to go all the way down there, but for me, realizing both of my parents were alcoholics. I grew up in a completely dysfunctional household. People look at me and they think, oh, you're Indian, you must have, parents paid for your college, and you know, da-da-da-da, automatically generalizing, their perception. But having experienced that from childhood and then going through the ayahuasca journey, opened it up for me to get on this self-love journey, get on this journey in a place where I didn't grow up in a loving household, and I didn't realize, even though, oh, Nira, you should love yourself, do your affirmations, journal. Well, that's not always enough. That doesn't always work with everyone, and it doesn't give you that catalyst to really induce change for me. And so through all of that childhood, traumas, that we all have some kind of childhood trauma, but having the microdose really support me on a day-to-day basis. I can feel sometimes my mom will tell me, have you taken your drops? and really being able to open up. And what I love about it is not only, even though my focus is depression and anxiety, Aya Bliss, the Be Happy Vine, the Harmala alkaloids, it's Mama Aya, it's Mama, right? It's our grandmother, and she is a heart opener. It is a beautiful way to start a relationship with ayahuasca before going to ceremony. It is an amazing way to have the support after a ceremony. And then of course, you know, the day-to-day, but yeah, really going through that from my childhood. And even now, it's a work in progress. Some days I'm like, I'm so sick of this child. Like, when is this gonna be over with? But it's an ongoing journey. More things are uncovered, more things are healed, and then it allows us, probably collectively, to be able to be here at this point and share and all grow together.
So for my wounds is my pattern, which is I have the belief system that I didn't know that I had called I'm not good enough. So it came from my childhood, of course, and you won't believe because I grew up in just a regular household without any trauma. But how it becomes your wound is incredible, and that will happen from regression, how to find those. I can find each one of your wounds from just one regression session. And but this pattern of I'm not good enough was applied in my relationship with my marriage. So I attracted somebody who is, you know, resembling that, so that I'm continuously feeling I'm not good enough. So I mean, we traveled the world to heal these issues that we had, and I had to let go of that relationship and really focus on healing my wound. That's when I actually discovered this wound about myself, and he was just trying to show me of this part of me. And I would tell you, I did everything as well as ayas and psilocybins and all of that, but how the Amanita taught me to really look deeper into that I was never able to see was, I do have to say, that was very amazing, profound, awakening moment, that how I ended up marrying one of my parents, because we are basically recreating that pattern through, and without you even knowing. And then now that I'm aware of that, a lot of this pattern, I get amazed by shit. I am doing my dad right now, I'm doing my mom right now, but because of the awareness, I'm understanding how to practically convert that pattern to a newer pattern. And these plants are amazing, and they are legal, which is great. So,
how about your most profound story of impact by one of your customers or clientele? I love these types of stories.
I have an Aya microdoser, and she suffered from anxiety, really bad anxiety. Carried Xanax in her purse, just almost debilitating anxiety, I would say. And so she was really scared to start Aya Bliss, and I was like, start with 1 drop. It's a microdose if you feel like that's what you want to do. She wanted to. After about 2 months, I would say, I get emotional because I just feel like I just couldn't believe it. She told me that she stopped her Xanax, and she's been microdosing Aya Bliss, and she has her life back because the Xanax just numbs you out. And that's the thing about these medicines, it's not suppressing what is in you, it's bringing it up. The only way out is through. And for her to be able to talk about the things that had happened to her in her childhood, because you had to, it's like an onion. You start somewhere, and when we're taking these pharmaceuticals, we're not even peeling the onion. We're just adding more, not able to get down into the nitty gritty, or your past life, your generational trauma. I remember my first, probably 4 sessions with Aya. It was all about my grandmother, my great grandmother, my mother, and I was like, I came here for me. What's going on? And so for this young lady to really just kind of get her life back, I almost felt like, I didn't even feel like I was qualified to be a part of that. I felt so humbled, and I still feel humbled today for that, and grateful.
So for me, I have a very specific purpose in this life, which is get as many people out of the pharmaceutical drugs. That's one of my purpose. And I actually was able to see from one of my clients who's been doing some retreat work and also microdosing. At first, she wasn't really getting much because the dose is very complicated with Amanita, but I gave her my tinctures and she took it for 3 months, and she actually were able to get out of the 6 different depression and anxiety medicine, and now she actually got to have this amazing ceremony because she was able to get out of the 6 medication and got the call, her soul calling, and she is now decided to open her podcasting and go out and do her source purpose, and also working with me. So that was something very heartwarming experience.
Beautiful, thank you. My story is quite similar to both of yours. I had somebody that was on pharmaceuticals, and it was when I first started serving. She was on a lot of pharmaceuticals, similar to me. She was on SSRIs, Adderall, Xanax, all 3. And she had hit a rock bottom moment, and we slowly weaned her off, and then we did 3 rounds of combo for her, and it changed her life. I actually just got to talk to her a couple days ago, and she's now in the process of leaving her corporate job too, and she's following us over. She's like, I just can't do it anymore. But I think similar to what you're saying, I feel like that's part of my life purpose too, is to help people get off the pharmaceuticals and support people in the same way that I was supported with my journey, and deep in the numbing, hiding and avoiding realm. As much as I can help people in that, I definitely feel very happy to support people in that process. So
We're all in the same boat, for sure. I think we're getting close to running out of time. Yeah, 10 minutes. So we'll do one more quick question, one word, 1 sentence answer, and then we'll open it up to some questions from you guys if you want. What are you most excited about for your business or your medicine or your life moving forward here? Let's say in the next 6 months to a year.
My first one, okay. I would say, when I had those cops show up at my door, I was frustrated. It was a frustrating time, like I mentioned. How do I get this out there? How do I share? And at that moment, it was like, okay, Nira, what do you want to do? You want to shut it down, or you want to keep going? And I had a vision or a meditation, and it was like, if I shut this down, I'm shutting my sister's voice down. I'm not allowing her to work through me. And the eye of bliss is not mine, it's hers. I've said that from day one. And so I'm really excited. We're exploring a couple more suppliers in Peru. We like to use the Cielo ayahuasca, having some really good resources where we're giving back to the community. It's a work in progress because I'm not in Peru, but keeping it authentic to its original purpose, and expanding our suppliers, like I mentioned, and then getting it to be more scalable to where somebody who's not familiar with psychedelics but are on a lot of medications would feel comfortable maybe microdosing. It's a microdose, it's a minuscule. And so I've even had some microdosers say they've gone to their doctor, I've given them what's in it. I said, go ask your doctor if you can take this while you're on your medication. And they have, and they'll start with maybe 1 or 2 drops instead of 5, and then they'll wean themselves off. And that's just amazing. So I'm really excited to grow and do more of that work.
So I get really excited when I'm actually making the medicine myself, because I usually make most of my tincture, and I come up with these new ideas how to make this in a beautiful, delicious way. And then I imagine how it can impact people who have a very specific gift, who came to this earth to live on his or her purpose. And you know, I can't necessarily clean up the ocean water that's very contaminated. I don't know how to do that. But if I can activate someone, because I can help him to remove that blockages out of him or her, and then he can go out and find a solution to clean the ocean water, and that gives me really a big joy.
Beautiful, thank you. Let's see, what am I most excited about? I love holding ceremony space so much. It's like my first love, but the thing I'm most excited about doesn't have to do with that. I really love been putting on, so what I started to witness happening with serving medicine was that as people were waking up and starting to see that the 5 people they surround themselves with weren't really in resonance anymore because they're drinking or partying or just not really a vibrational match, I was feeling spirit really nudging me to pull conscious community together. So about 1.5 years ago, I started putting on little mini like festivals, kind of like this, and we've done about like 13 or 14 now, where we have these days that are basically very similar to this, but they're, we first started Goddess Empowerment Day, and now we have an event called Imagine, which is an event for world peace that was inspired by my father, who transitioned 1 year ago, and his one wish was for world peace. So we do these events, and they're basically intended to support small businesses, to support people like yourselves, and allow people to have the stage and share their gifts and their offerings. And that's what my business is called, is Divine Gift. At every conscious moment is our divine gift, and we are a gift. So it's empowering people to share their gifts. So we do these monthly events. They've been twice a month lately, and I really love them because they're like a little baby to me, and people come and share, and we do everything from breath work to sound healing. We have one in 2 Fridays where we have a Tibetan Buddhist monk that's here in LA. He's going to be leading a chanting, sacred tattoo, painting experience, and then we'll have vendors and facilitators at the event as well. So I just really love doing this. It feels like definitely part of my life purpose is bringing conscious individuals together to support and uplift one another, and just have an impact for the collective, similar to what you were saying as well. So, yeah.
Do we have time for a couple questions? Okay. Anybody have any questions?
I do.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's a question or just I'm perplexed by this. So people who are microdosing or wanting to get off pharmaceuticals, like I have RA and some other crazy stuff, so I'm not talking Prozac or whatever, but more biologicals. And I started microdosing not long ago, and my body has changed. Like I know it's like part of your DNA, but what like some people, and I guess it's just kind of figuring out what we're saying, but what confuses me or confused me, and the more I practice, the better I've been becoming this, but it's difficult. Like some people say, oh,
Aya Bliss, we recommend, you got to start somewhere, right? So we recommend starting with 5 drops under the tongue, holding it 1 to 2 minutes. You won't be able to speak, so it's a great time to do a meditation too, and then swallowing. What we have is a path for you. So after 7 days, you will do some journaling if you're able to, and then after 7 days, determine how you feel. More is not always good. I started with 5 and I was like, I don't know if I really like this. I pulled back to 3 and that was my magic number. And I have some people that will do all the way up to 12. So it's really kind of seeing what works good with your body. We do 3 weeks on, 1 week off. I do say that if you're taking it for depression, keep a reminder because you can start feeling better and then you're off for that week. And then if you start, having the imbalance of your chemicals and you start kind of going down that depressive path, you can become too depressed to even reach for the tools that are right in front of you. So I'll tell you to put a reminder in your phone after your 1 week break. It's like a reset and it's not mandatory. So for me, I don't do a reset. I'll just take it. And then there might be, a few weeks that I don't. And my mom's like, did you take your drops? I'm like, oh shit. But so ours is 3 weeks on, 1 week off by direction on the bottle. But then we do support you by giving you a path on how you can either increase by 2 drops or take away by 2 drops to find that perfect dose.
So for me, for that exact reason, I actually offer free Zoom meeting, healing meeting online. So with my medicine, I don't know about Aya, but whatever that I work with on any of my modalities and any of my plant medicine, you can just come join in and ask questions and I'll work with you on the doses. You do want to, instead of working with, because somebody's giving you a great lecture with science to pick the medicine, but I invite you to actually go where your body, your psychic is taking you, and that is a great indication you can work with, and then you can find someone who can guide you through.
I mean, it's a huge thing when you think about Humira, and Heather knows this already, I got her. But, we have insurance for a reason, right? My Humira alone, just the one biological, is $12,000 to $15,000 a month. Like, I took it and I squeezed it out, and it's like, what, this much medicine, like it's nothing. It's terrible. But so if we get off that and get on plants or really start to use them, I just think it's mind-boggling.
That's one of the reasons why I love, we haven't had a price increase even though glass went up. Right now it's $40 for a 15 ml bottle, which lasts you 2.5 months if you take 5 drops a day. And then, like you said, obviously offering the support where it's needed or whatever might be coming up for you to help you process and even help you determine if you need to increase or take away.
The one thing I wanted to add to that, Maggie, thank you for that question. Something that I really appreciate in that is I think for me, one of the most important things with these plant teachers are they're here to teach us how to trust ourselves. Like our intuition, our intuitive guidance knows what's best for us. Like we know there's the Stamets stack, there's the Fatimans protocol, there's the take it every day, there's all these different standards we can follow, but I really advise people to listen, meditate, get still, because we know what's best for us and only we can really feel what it is that our body needs. And for me, that's usually what I guide people, and I've learned myself in years and years and years of microdosing with all these different plants, even iboga, like all of them. I'm like, well, I listen to my body and I trust that, and then I build the relationship. And the more I trust myself, the more I can hear my intuitive guidance of what it is I actually need. So that's something that I just felt really called to share.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you told me that in the very beginning, listening to your body, and it's true. People ask me now, it's not even on a journey, on trying things, kind of getting my dosage down and my whatever head straight. And I just want to have the answers. I'm glad they all make sense. I'm a very
I think medicine, medicine is an art. Healing is an art. Listening to our bodies is an art. And just with any skill, we develop art through practice and through intention. And luckily, with substances like these or plant medicines, it really grounds us in that and reinforces that ability to develop that skill and that art. I think, Western medicine completely lacks that entirely. So I think it's, in one sense, maybe it's a little frustrating. In another sense, it's a beautiful opportunity to be given, to be gifted, to be able to develop that skill within oneself, which is, a really powerful skill that has been largely lost.
And just touching back on fear really quick, not being afraid, you're not going to microdose wrong. There's not a wrong way.
And the fear is like people are so afraid, like it's a trick, like don't even worry about it. That is great.
Yes, you mentioned, obviously in all the conversation, the healing path and building trust, openness back to our intuition. Do any of you care to share any of your experiences of coming to your particular medicine, intuitive path, synchronicity, and how that's been expanded through the use of these medicines?
That's a great question.
This gives me like full body chills. I love this question so much, and this is also something I'm so passionate about because every single one of us in this room has an incredible, powerful intuition that's guiding us in every moment. And what I've learned in my path is the more we lean in and the more we trust, the more we can hear it, the more we can really develop that beautiful relationships. The synchronicities get louder. I mean, for myself, I'm trying to think of telling this story abbreviatedly about my journey to find Kambo, but it was basically, for myself, I found myself sitting with it very frequently. And what started to happen is I started to just like educate myself on it very intuitively. Like I was getting information that I was telling people so passionately. I went to Europe and I had combo scars all over my arm and I was just telling people on the street, people were like, what's that? And I was like in hour-long conversations talking about combo and I was like, what is happening? And then I started to see the frogs everywhere, and then like I found a museum in Croatia and there was 1,000 frogs in different positions. There was a frog baking a pie and a frog like playing the violin. And I went to take a picture for my friend Wolf, who's here, and a voice was like that. This isn't for Wolf, this is for you. And it was like this very very strong pull of like, don't you see what's happening? Like, don't you see the path? And then my journey was with a grandmother. She started to show me the people that I would heal with combo, or not heal. I don't heal anybody. Let me rephrase that. I would support people in their healing journey with combo. So anyways, there's so many stories I could share like that I get so passionate about, but I think ultimately what it boils down to is like, I really want, like that's one thing I would love to leave people with is the trust that we have within ourselves and how powerful it is and like empowering it is too when we start to trust it. Oh my gosh, life just gets so much more like delicious and magical because it's like, it's all unfolding for us. And the more we can lean into that, woo, it's on fire.
The intuition for me, it stemmed after Tina had passed away, and then I started microdosing. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't make pamphlets. I don't write things. And before Aya Bliss was Aya Bliss, I was kind of thinking like, well, maybe it could be Vine Vibes, or I don't know. I sat down at my computer, it was like 2 a.m, and I just busted out this trifold. I made a trifold about Vine Vibes and had pictures, and I was like, the next day I was like, who did this? How did I do that? And I don't come from a background of really strong intuition, really strong self-belief, really strong self-love. And so for me, trusting my intuition in my first marriage, my mom was like, well, you should know in your gut if you love him. I was like, I must not have that gene because I don't know. And so like learning, Abraham Hicks was a really good teacher for me, trusting that first instinct that comes to you. And so when I busted out that trifold, I was like, that must have been her working through me because she was a designer. And then I was like, people, oh, this is scary. You have 2 kids, you can't risk. And then I was like, no, I have to. And it's just this feeling that came. I was like, oh, that's intuition. And still sometimes I struggle with intuition. Oh, should I? But remembering, no, it's that first instinct, that first thing that you're aligned with. And how did I come back from Costa Rica not knowing we have a huge ayahuasca community in Dallas? My tattoo artist said, Nira, I need to introduce you to this guy. Introduced me to this guy, who introduced me to another guy who had microdosed the extract in Peru. So when you follow that intuition, the path, you're not opening the path is just unfolding for you.
So I wanna say, I know that what you're asking isn't the answer of trust more. How do I get to trust more? So your intuition is being more activated. So I got the divine connection 18 years ago, actually without any medicine. And what the message came to me was, you're a medical intuitive. And that time I was a fashion designer. I had no idea about the healing industry at all. And I'm like, what? And the reason why I'm saying this to you, and now I am actually an intuitive channel. And I can read minds and subconscious minds, and I do sessions, intuitive reading sessions with people. It took me 18 years of a practice to trust myself. Because at that time, I'm always going back and forth, can't make a decision and all that. And I tried all different modalities, and through the sessions and ceremonies, I did more than 100 plant ceremonies myself throughout this time. And peeling off all the onion skins, and also whenever it comes, what I have dedicated myself was to put them into practical life. It's a practice. That's how actually you're going to get more intuitive, and you're going to be increasing your trust value, because you did Costa Rica for 1 week, and you come back, you don't become intuitive right away. It just doesn't happen. That what you learn from your ceremonies or journey, you have to actually put them into practice. And whenever you are committed to that journey, you are getting better and better, and you can fully trust yourself.
Thank you, Dave. You're awesome. Love y'all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Into our last session for the day, and we definitely saved the best for last here. My first time growing mushrooms, I had a very custom R2D2 kind of tub with a humidifier that fed into the tub in the closet, and I was amazed at the volume I got. But folks are doing it right now and actually providing supplies and knowledge to everyone to make it accessible. And this next guest is going to talk to us about growing your own mushrooms. Let me welcome Zach Dorsett, the operations manager for Wonder Bags.
Okay, your phone dies. I think we got one. Or maybe she just
He's just setting up the projection screen. Thank you so much.
Just to let you know, I can't stay, but I got your card.